The Benbrook South Campground is an Army Corps of Engineers campground located near Fort Worth on Benbrook Lake. Entrance to the campground is via Pearl Ranch Road. This is a rather large campground, so I'm going to divide it up into several videos to keep each video manageable. Pull up to the guard shack. Notice that the gate is in the up position. Well, what's left of the gate. It appears someone got a little impatient, perhaps. Also notice on the left is the dump station. It's one of two dump stations in the park. There's another one that is all the way back at the very end of the park, which is almost 2 miles away. All of the sites that are immediately to the right are intended for camp hosts and park personnel. Just beyond the dumpsters is a road to the right that does go to another section of the park that is for registered guests. We'll be going to that section of the park a little bit later. Also notice on the right is a building that has showers and restrooms in it. One thing I will note about this park, which is unfortunate, none of the restrooms or showers are in good condition. They're at best poor and in some cases deplorable, bordering on unusable. It really is a shame because it's a nice park otherwise. So just an FYI, if you're planning on boondocking here or tent camping, your experience in the showers or restrooms may not be a good one. Pulling into the area where Site 57 and Site 58 are located. This is the most southern point in the campground. These two sites are the only two sites in this little stretch of roadway, and both of them back up onto the overflow area for the lake. And what I mean by that is, in the trees directly behind the campsites is a marshy, swampy area where when the lake gets full, water from the lake does back up into this area. And while we were there, we noticed a lot of commotion occasionally with birds and the sound of waves in the water. Well, the waves turned out to be fish that were flopping around in the shallow water, and some of the birds were going in for an easy meal. The other thing that we noticed with the fact that the lake was high and this was a swampy area, the mosquitoes in this part of the campground were horrible. So just an FYI. We've stayed in this campground several times and have actually stayed in Site 58 several times, but all of the other times the lake was really low and the area back here in the woods was dry and there were no mosquitoes. But once the lake filled up, now it's swampy, lots of mosquitoes. And this was in early March, so I hesitate to think what the mosquitoes would be like in warmer weather. Site 57 is directly in front of our truck, and it actually looks like a really short site, and It is actually a short site, but while we were there, a motorhome pulled in and was able to use the site, including parking their toad in front of their motorhome. The way they did it was to back the wheels all the way to the end of the pavement and let the back of their motorhome hang over the grassy area, and surprisingly there was plenty of room for that motorhome, and it was probably a good 40 feet long. So now I'm going to turn into the same loop where sites 57 and 58 are located. Only I'm going to turn into the shelter area and end up at this same spot near site 57 and 58. So now I'm going to restart the tour back near the entrance to the campground and go down the loop with sites number 1 through 31. Every time we've been here, this loop seems to be a popular loop and is either full or mostly full. We've never stayed in this loop, so if you remember from earlier in the video I mentioned mosquitoes. I don't know if the mosquitoes are bad in this particular section of the campground or not. There is no swampy area, so maybe it is going to be a bit better over here.